I'm gonna give you top 5 excuses of why people don't make enough money. And I want to try to wrap this around the idea that excuses do not equal wealth. Excuses don't equal wealth at all. And it's sad that I see some of my friends do this. I've seen a lot of people do this, but I've also seen some of my friends do the exact same thing. They make excuses as to why they're not making more money. They make excuses as to why they can't put money into a savings account or even an investment account, or even putting it towards what they want to do. So I'm gonna give you some excuses that a lot of people have been pushing. Let's see. Number one excuse that I hear the most is that people are living paycheck to paycheck. Let me ask you something. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? When I first started investing, I was living paycheck to paycheck as well. I was living minimum wage. I started with like an $8.25 an hour job, and then once I left the University of Missouri, I went from a $9.50 hour job to a $10 an hour job because of the minimum wage jump in Chicago that happened in like 2014, 2015. But I went from part-time to full-time, and I realized that I was spending a lot of money on useless bullshit. I spent my money on food. I spent my money on things that didn't make me money. I spent my money on drivel, honestly. But the overall excuse that I hear is that people don't have enough money to put into a savings account or an investment account. I think that's fucking childish. Here's the reason why. Number one, you are prideful when you do that. You may have an apartment. You may have some extenuating circumstances, like a parent not allowing you to stay at your place. Your parents may be dead. Who knows? I don't know your situation. But if you're that dense to not realize that you could lower your expenses, lower the useless bullshit that does not add to your income, then you need to forget making money. You need to just focus on living. Focus on survival. But if you're not that dense and you need to realize that you need to cut your expenses, here's what you need to do. Number one, move in with your parents. I don't give a fuck. If you honestly think, oh, well, my parents won't accept me, my parents do that. I don't care if you have to get on your knees begging for your family to accept you back in the house. They may love you, they may not love you. Who knows? Try it anyways. That way you can cut that rent expense out of your freaking paychecks. And I tell you, rent's very expensive lately. You can go from $700 upwards to about $1,500 for a studio apartment in California. It sucks. But you cut that rent expense, and I guarantee you that's a lot of money going to your paycheck. And a lot of money going to your savings account. Number two, car payments. If it's a beater, that's fine. But if it's a new car or some you financed, you need to sell that. You need to sell that. Take the bus. Get your parents to drop you off at work. Who knows? Everyone has to start somewhere. And I don't care if it takes you from... So, the adage is true in this regard. Sometimes it takes us one step backwards to take 2 steps forward. And then sometimes in regards with some people, you may have to take 5 steps back to take 6 steps forward. It's something called backtracking. Learn it. Now, people can get me on privilege and all this stuff, and I'm not being sympathetic, but this is honest truth here. This is honest truth here. If you're that dense to not realize that you need to lower your expenses, then you need to stop watching these videos. You need to stop thinking about money, because you are not willing to make the sacrifice necessary to start making money. But that's number one excuse that I hear. Number 2, it's risky. Anything in life is risky. Whether you get up from the bed, whether you are driving, whether you are flying in a plane, whether you are at a bank waiting in line, there's always a risk that's going to sit there. What do I mean? Well, you may be sitting on a plane and the plane messes up on an engine, plane comes down out of the sky, or there could be a hijacking. You could have a guy just sitting at the bank teller, just waiting to make a deposit, and you got a bank robber just walks in, starts shooting up the place. You could be at a mall, just minding your own business, and you get shot down by a terrorist. There's risk in anywhere. Just realize that. However, realize that it follows a certain equation. Risk times reward equals wealth. Let's assume reward is a stable factor, a constant factor. Let's say 2. If the risk is 2 and your reward is 2, you get 4. But if risk is 20 and the reward is 2, you get 40. Realize that risk is a multiplier. That it leverages one way or it leverages the other way. Learn how to handle the troughs of an opportunity, but also learn how to handle the peaks. In that way, you prepare yourself for the wealth. You prepare yourself for the blessing. Risk is something that should not be shirked. Risk should be something that's welcomed, but watched. There's an old adage that says from Andrew Carnegie that don't put all your eggs in different baskets. Put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket. And it's true. The reason why the American businessman fails is because of lack of concentration. They have their mind on too many things. If you have your mind on one thing, maybe 2, but one thing, you tend to keep all of your attention on it. You learn, let's say for instance you have one stock that you have. You learn to watch that company's stock. You learn to watch that company's news. You learn that company's earnings. You learn that company's trading patterns. And as long as you learn that area, you become successful in it. But that's just excuse number 2. Excuse 3. I don't want to lose money. Really? You lose money every single day whenever you make a transaction. You lose money every single day when you make a transaction. Whether it be just getting coffee or you're putting money into the stock market, or you're putting money on a deal. You lose money every single time. Learn how to handle where that money goes, and see if you can make a return out of it, not just an expense out of it. Number 4, I don't want to fail. Here's what I hear when I hear somebody that I don't want to fail. I don't want to succeed. Failure is a necessary thing to get to what you want. Sure, it sucks, but from failures you learn lessons. You learn the best lessons that you can from them. And finally, for number 5, money isn't everything. Life isn't about money. Life isn't this. Life isn't that. Yes, life isn't about money. You can literally have a spiritual life. You can have a romance life that isn't filled with money. You can have a family life without money. But I will say, to those who are poor, money may not be everything, but it's an important factor in your life. It is a very important factor in your life. And you would love to see more money in your account, wouldn't you? Money isn't everything. It's an important factor. It makes your life easier. Yes, you can't get love with money. Money isn't capable of having love. Money isn't capable of having sympathy or empathy for you. Money gets rewarded when you take the effort. Money gets rewarded when you take the risk. It requires you to be vulnerable to get money. But I promise you, once you start getting more money, it makes your life a lot better and makes you a lot more happier. I mean, honestly, I moved from a Mazda to this, a Mercedes. I'm a little happier because the things that I didn't get from a Mazda are here in a Mercedes. The things I didn't get from not having a carport are now here when I have a carport at home. It's not as hot when I get into a car, and it makes me a lot more happier. There's a lot of excuses regarding toward making money, but I'm gonna tell you right now, excuses don't equal wealth. You have to put away your pride just so you can make money. You have to put away your pride just so you can make the wealth necessary. You have to put away your pride just to do something. Stretch outside of your comfort zone. If you overextended, lower yourself. And make smart moves with your money. Start making disposable income. Disposable income means money after bills are paid. And it's easy. Make sure all your expenses and liabilities are lower than how much you make. And whatever you have after, throw that towards a savings account. Throw that towards your debts. Throw that towards your investments. That way, you start making more money off of it. It doesn't get simpler than that, folks. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done speaking. I don't care if people are gonna get offended by it and blah blah blah. I don't care. That's how I know from this life. You can debate it all you want. But I promise you, in the back of your mind, you know I'm right. You know what you need to do is to put away your pride, put away your excuses, and start working. Make that money. Money Mastermind. I'm out.